Okay, hi, this is Understanding AP in Dark and Darker for High Roller Goblin Caves. So first things first, when you hit the leaderboard tab, you're going to find this, okay? If you click View Details, it will go into the cost, how it works, all this stuff. Basically what this is saying is your first rank is going to cost you 0 AP. That's Neophyte. After that, it goes up, okay? And it's per map, per rank. Here's an example. So if you were to, let's see, if you were Pathfinder 3, on Goblin Cave, that's 250 AP. On Crypts, it's 300. And on Ice, it's 350, okay? Basically, you kind of want to stick to Goblin if you're trying to min-max, but, I mean, there's a plus and minus to it all. We're just going to go over Goblin Cave today. Here's an example of an end screen in High Roller. This is from the ice map, but you'll notice that monster kills, there's 129 monster kills for 1600 AP. I mean, this is big, right? This is big. And not to mention, you know, prop interaction, that's stuff like doors, chests, levers. High-end props, that's basically the blue extractions, right? Like the tombstones. Item achieved, this is for gear. So this person may have found, you know, some good gear. I mean, for 138, it's probably purples or blues. I'll explain all this. And then treasure at 880, these are probably legendary based on what this is. Dungeon down, he went to the Ice Abyss. And you'll notice that he's exemplar on ice, which costs 800 AP, and he still came out with 2445. Pretty impressive. Okay, first things first. In order to get a lot of AP, you need to understand the map. Understanding the map is the first step. Here are the names of all the rooms. We're just going over Goblin Caves. Here's all the room names. Now, some of these names, people don't call some of these rooms what they're labeled here. Like this, it's called Cave Altar. So is this. This is prison. This is jail. Everybody calls that prison, jail. Bottom left, bottom right, top left, center. They have names. This is Spider Cave. Honestly, this is the Spider Room. Stone Graves B is Spider Room. This is where all the spiders are. I'm not talking about spider mummies. I'm talking about the giant spiders. This is where the dragonflies are. Bats. This is what people might consider the Spider Room. But this is also, some people might call this is mine. I mean, you're going to notice that people have different names for it, different callouts. This top room has a res. This bottom room has a res. The prison has a res. This valley has a res. Center, obviously, has a res. If you're playing solos, then you don't even need to worry about that. This is my crude example of player spawns pathing, thinking, right? How this works, okay? So in total, there's 41. I count them all up. I kind of label them. See how there's 2, so I made that 2, right? The greens are kind of the rooms you want to be around. If you're near red, I would be wary because the likelihood of somebody spawning there is higher. Now, granted, if you're playing solo, it might not be that one of these spawns are even able to be spawned at. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but this is what player spawns show. This is all of them, so I'm going to treat it like you could spawn at any of these locations in solo. The best place to spawn, let's just get this out the way now, is the bottom left. There's just no way around it. That is the best place to spawn. It's arguable, of course, but in my opinion, this is the best place. So consider this. You spawn in the center. You're surrounded by 8 rooms that potentially could have all spawned one person, potentially, right? I mean, you're not going to spawn in the same room as somebody, but you can spawn next to somebody. This happens all the time. What you're going to find is in the center, you have a potential 8 players surrounding you. Let's consider if you spawn at the top. Well, now you only have 5. Now, let's say you spawn at the top right. Your potential player spawn, you know, next to you is going to be 3. So I would just consider the corners as the best place to spawn. And of the corners, we can just see that this one, there's a potential 4 spawns. And this one, there's a potential 7 spawns. In the top left, there's a potential 4 again. And then at the bottom left, there's a potential 3, right? There's 3 rooms per corner, but I just mean to say there's a higher, in my opinion, if there's 41 spawns, there's a higher likelihood that someone will spawn in a 3-player, spawn room, right? It just stands to reason that if there's an opportunity to spawn in a room 3 times versus 1, the likelihood is higher that someone will be in that room. This is troll. This is whatever this is called, right? So this room above center, right? So this room right here maybe has a higher likelihood of someone spawning there, and troll room maybe has a higher likelihood of someone spawning there. Now, like I said, in solos, it could be different than trios. It could be different than duos, how they work the spawns. But I'm just going off what they give me. And bottom left, just from a sheer logical numbers point of view, is the best room. All right, chest spawns. We're going to go into like exactly how much AP they give you and all that stuff. But this is every chest spawn in Goblin Caves. Okay? And I put the spawn here because you're going to notice that it's pretty well spread out. But like, for instance, if you spawn here and you go up 1 room to this room, there's not that many chests. Although in the game there are chests, but if you're gonna go for opening chests as like your main source of AP, then like let's say you're a barbarian, you want to break chests, which, as far as I understand, does give you AP. Then you might want to stay away from this room. You just might want to farm this room. Just break every single chest you see, and then run through this, and then go right. Maybe something like this. Here is every chest spawn. I think I left out a couple that had like very little, like kind of rare stuff. But you'll notice that the oak chest has a high propensity in the bottom left. The bottom right corner, all 4 rooms, might be good. The first column is decent, just minus the top left and the this room right here, just for oak chests, mind you. This is just oak chests. Small oak. It kind of follows the oak, right? It kind of has a similar density map, right? I want you to be looking at these as like a heat map. So like, let's say skeleton corpses, if you're for some reason farming those, this is the room you want, right? Maybe there's a few in the spider room, what I call a spider room, and there's just a few here and there. Lion's head, maybe you're farming lion's head, maybe you're looking for like really good gear. This is viable too. You don't have to open all of these chests to earn your AP. You could just find really good gear. Like, if you have 3 purples, that might be worth then 6 blues or something like that. I'll explain all that, but we'll go into it. But this is all the line set. I know it's kind of hard to see, but I will go into it. Large oak, you'll notice that there's a lot in the bottom left. That's pretty much, this is what I'm saying. The bottom left is the best room. If you're not looking for PvP, the bottom left is the best room, in my opinion. Royal Coffin, you'll notice that it's in the same room. This is like the skeleton drop down area. It has like the you open the gate, and then it has like the pile of bones and stuff, and with the 2 ladders. This is that room, if I'm not mistaken. Random small, you're gonna see them just center. Random medium, just everywhere. I mean, random large, prison, yeah, and then special. This could be gold and whatnot. So gem spawns. Look, see spider room coming up again with the gem spawns. Spider room yet again with the trinkets. Shrine 2 by spider room. In my opinion, look at the trinkets. I honestly, when you look at the map, I never realized how many spawn, but these are the static spawns for all this. Shrines do give AP. Trinkets do give a certain amount of AP, and so do gems. We'll go into that. Here's all goblin monster spawns. Okay, another important part of the AP formula is not just items and trinkets, chests, stuff like that. It's also killing mobs, right? That's going to give you a lot of AP, and it might be the best way to give you AP. If you think back to that end screen example, 129 mobs for, what was it, like 1600 AP? It might be advisable to even forget about doing anything but killing mobs, to be honest. I mean, just something to think about. Here's all of them and where they're at. So, like I said, bottom left, as far as goblins go, there's not a lot of... This is a skeleton room. But basically the bottom row, a lot of mobs. Center row, the biggest... it looks like the most amount of goblins. Basically, these 6 rooms right here, that's an easy loop you can make. So it looks like center column and the column to the right of that, all goblins. So, I mean, there's a lot of goblins, and you can make a lot of AP by killing them. Here are the spawns for everything. This is all skeleton spawns. So you'll notice the bottom left has skeletons and prison. This room also is a skeleton room, and the one right next to prison, which is Cyclops. So, yeah, it might be advisable to kill every mob, just from an AP perspective. You'll notice that the bugs, the death beetle in the spider room, you'll notice where's the giant spider in the spider room, giant dragonfly in the spider room. I call this a spider room. It's where the giant spiders are. You'll see the giant bats are there. Also at the top right, if you spawn there, you get some AP from them. They're kind of annoying, but it is what it is. Not that many death skulls in this map. Giant centipedes, I advise killing them, so they drop good loot sometimes, but they give a lot of AP. Let's see, mummy spawns, you know, the water where the res is at the bottom, you're going to see that in prison, and then you're going to see them a few places. If you spawn top right when you're in the hallway, they're going to be, you know, you walk forward next to the pots where the wall spike is, if you recall, and they, there's one that spawns there, and I think there's another one later down in the hall. Skelly champs, they have a lot of health, they might take a lot of time to kill, but they drop golden keys. A normal skeleton champion will spawn a golden key, if I'm not mistaken, 1% of the time. And an elite will spawn it 2% of the time, if I'm not mistaken. So get to killing them. I mean, for a golden key, you might as well. Zombie spawns, nothing too crazy. I can't stand zombies myself with the when they burp. Monster AP. This is a big portion of your AP formula when you're trying to farm AP. How much AP can PvE give you? Well, let's see. Here are the goblins. Now, this is HP. This is how it's going to look for the rest of the slides. So this is HP. This is their movement. And this is the experience. The top 3, 4, 5, that's experience. And the bottom is 5, 10, 15. That's your AP. The colors just designate if it's a normal, elite, or a nightmare. Okay? So this is all goblin spawns. And you'll notice that it's usually a 5, 10, 15. Right? They're all this. And you'll see with later monsters, they're usually just 5, 10, 15, maybe a couple outliers. But the rule of thumb is it's 5, 10, 15. You're going to see mostly elites. You're going to see a few nightmares. And I think normals are even more rare than nightmares. So, which is a good thing for us if we're, you know, farming AP. We don't want to see normals. We want to see elites. We want to see nightmares. And so let's say you spawned in prison. First thing I would do is kill all the goblins there. I would go to this top room because there's a lot of chests up here and good loot. I would kill all the mobs here, get all that loot, maybe move to the room to the right, kill these guys, or maybe I would find my way down 2 rooms, kill all these guys. I mean, how you move is how you move. Pathing in this game is up to you, but I'm just trying to show you that, you know, this is why map knowledge is important, because you want to be able to put together a path on the fly. So let's say you're in this room killing mobs, somebody pushes you, okay, you can go up or down. Now, if you're hunting AP, or let's say you're not trying to interact with PvE because you're trying to run away, it might be better to go down if you haven't cleared prison yet. Or it might be, you know, something like this. So just keep that in mind. This is where they all spawn. Skeletons, you'll notice that it's a 5, 10, 15 AP again. So that's, like I said, the general rule of thumb. Let's see, what do we got here? So prison has a lot of skeletons, bottom left a lot of skeletons. You're gonna find that usually a nightmare spawns in this room. Like if the door is open when you spawn, it's probably a nightmare, but you know, it's not guaranteed. This room right here, this is where you drop down. There's royal coffins and whatnot. Pretty cool room. Top right, I believe this is where the there's one skeleton, like when you break the wood and you go you have to like wait for the fire, I think, and then yeah, this is like one skeleton hiding there. And Cyclops, an altar. This right here is the res altar. Yeah, nothing too crazy. I mean, if you're farming skeletons on goblin caves, there's basically 2 rooms I would go to. It's bottom left and prison. Simple as that. Alright, Death Beetle. You'll notice that it's a 5, 10, 15, but these are extremely easy to kill. Extremely easy to kill. I mean, I use Spear as a ranger. This is 3 hits and they're done for. And if you're kitted, I mean, pretty much all of this stuff is going to be easy to kill. But these especially, and they come towards you. They fly, they come towards you. A skeleton might take a little bit of time to reach you. A goblin might take a little bit of time. If it's a bola thrower, I mean, come on. Get out of here with that. But Death Beetle, you'll see Spider Room. Don't even think about farming Death Skulls. 3 spawns, I mean, it's a waste of time. Giant Centipede spawns. This is big because they do drop good loot. I mean, I've gotten purple trinkets off these guys before, and it's advisable to kill them because look at the AP. 20 for a regular, 30 for an elite. That's killing 2 nightmare Death Beetles, right? And if you could kill these things quickly, it's advisable because not only is their loot potentially good, it's also, I mean, it's arguable about their loot, right? It's usually trinkets. It's usually like a necklace or something like that. But from a value perspective, not from an AP perspective, it's pretty good loot. From an AP perspective, we'll get into why it might not be good loot. But I think it's good to kill these. If you could kill a couple of these, I mean, that's 60 off top. You know, just like for killing 2 mobs. I mean, it's really not that bad. All right, giant bat, giant dragonfly, giant spider. Giant bat, giant dragonfly, giant spider. Giant spiders, for me as a ranger, very easy to kill. Very easy to kill. I just shotgun them, you know, hit them twice, shotgun, boom, they're done. They're usually elites. And look how many there are in this room alone. So if you spawn bottom right, just go straight vertical. Clear that room, whatever's in the room, and then just go straight vertical, in my opinion, and kill everything. Not only just for the mobs, but if you think back to the trinket spawns and the gem spawns, there's quite a I mean, this is the room that's real big and open with the 2 like it has the plates where the spiders drop from the ceiling. You hit a plate and a mage drops as well. So if you can remember that room, then there's a lot of gems just laying around. There's a lot of stuff laying around. Plus there's a lot of props that you can interact with. This is just a good room in general from an AP perspective. Arguable, it might be tied with bottom left. I think it's easier bottom left, but I always get this spawn, so I'm kind of biased. Top right's really good. It's chill. Top left is really good. It's chill. The corners are really chill. You're not going to find too much PvP in the corners. So giant bats, I really don't like them. I mean, it's 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15. If I had to choose any of these, I would farm the dragonflies because they're like one shot. I mean, look at this. 81 as a nightmare, and it gives you 15 AP. I mean, you would be brain dead not to go for these. So from an AP perspective, this is the guy right here. Mummy. Prison. Altar, you know, it guards the res. There's 3 of them. The room below. In the water by the other res. There's another one in this one. So, yeah. Top right when you spawn in the hallway and whatnot. Zombies. I mean, like I said, look, 5, 10, 15, 5, 10, 15. I would go for mummies over zombies. But you can kill zombies as well. I mean, just kill everything is my whole point here. Kill every monster you see. Kill every single monster. And if you're playing duos or trios, make sure your buddies get a tap in too so they get an assist. Let's see. And Skelly Champs. Like I said, I would, if you run into one, if you got time, if you feel like, all right, I got enough AP, I got enough loot, whatever, kill it. You might get a key. If not, just leave them alone. Just wanted to show you that mimics do give AP 5, 10, 15. I'm not sure what designates a nightmare mimic. They all look the same to me. And yeah, so bosses give 80 or 150. So the thing about bosses is that you could farm the bosses because you're going to get loot, right? You're going to get valuable loot from a gold perspective. From an AP perspective, not that valuable. I'll explain why later. But once you kill these guys, if you kill both, then you can farm gold, which is good for value. But you can do the treasure troves. It might give you high-end gems. It might give you a chest even. So it's up to you if you want to do this. In my opinion, plain and simple, kill every mob you see. These guys take too much time. It depends how good you are. It depends what, you know, what loot you bring in, how quickly you kill these guys. But just kill every mob you see. Spider mummies, not worth your time. I wanted to show you that they give zero AP and experience. 0. Just a waste of time. Why do I need to know this? Okay, mobs can earn a great bulk of your AP. I mean, here's an example right here. 129 mobs, 1600 AP. I mean, that's almost as much as all of his prop interaction, high-end prop interaction, all of his gear that he found, and all of the treasure that he had. That's more than all of this. All of it put together. Just killing mobs. So I advise you to kill every mob you see. You could focus less on PvP, plain and simple. You see somebody run away. Simple. Kill the mobs instead. If you want to fight PvP, nothing wrong with that. Less focus on loot, treasure, trinkets. You have to be mindful that mobs drop loot. So as you're killing mobs, you're also getting loot. Prop interaction. Okay, this is big. Does opening a chest give you AP? Let's get into it. Royal Coffin. 15 AP. Okay, you find a Royal Coffin. Remember, there's only 3 in Goblin Caves. Okay, 45 AP. But if you spawn next to it, might be worth it. You're going to find that Lion's Head, always go for them. Reinforced, always go for them. Large, like the Oaks, go for them. Basically, if there's a chest and you have high interaction speed, I would just go for it. Skeleton Corpses, good. So there are duplicates in this list. You'll notice that this first row's AP, second row's experience. There are duplicates because this has every map on there. But basically, the lowest cost is the Goblin Caves one, right? Or the lowest AP reward for opening it is going to be the Goblin Cave. So like for instance, Skeleton Corpse 3. There's also another Skeleton Corpse up here for 7 and another for 7. We're just going to assume that the Skeleton Corpse for 3 is Goblin Caves because it has the lowest AP cost. I assume that it also has the lowest AP reward. Opening doors does give AP. I assume it's 5. I would just assume it's that. Because, yeah, so it just stands to reason you want to open every door you see. Yeah, if you pick, so this is actually kind of interesting. If you pick Wardweed, Phantom Flower, Life Leaf, they give you 1 AP per pick, right? Per pick. So, and they stack as well. So I'm going to go into the AP for a stack of plants, but per pick, they give you 1 AP. So if you see 5 in a room, that's 5 free AP. If you have high interaction speed, like I said, might as well grab them. Might as well grab them. At least, you know, in the meantime, till you find something better. Or these are prop interactions. So the first time you mine, let's see, which would be, okay, let's see, you're in Goblin Caves. You spawn top right. You make your way to Goblin Mine, the room to the left, and there's iron ore and copper ore. All right, you found a pickaxe on a goblin. You're like, okay, let's see if I can get a lot of AP for this. Or maybe you need it for some items you want to craft. All right, so you pick an iron ore. The first time you hit it, first time you get an ore, you got 5 AP for it. If you get an ore a second time from that same node, no more AP. You got that 5 AP, that's it, okay? And that means if I hit it and then a buddy of mine hits it, doesn't matter. I hit it for that 5 AP, now it's dead. Just like a chest. You can't like reopen chest, right? It's just the first time. But the ore itself does provide AP, but it's not the best AP, so I would advise against it. Escape portal, 15 AP. This is a high-end interaction. Every time you open one of these, it gives you 15 AP. Open every single one you see. Easy AP. Straight up. Magical interaction speed, that's how you get that to open faster, if I'm not mistaken, so I would definitely focus on that. But the general rule of thumb is like, if you really study this, basically what you're going to see is like the order of operations if you're running through a room. Flowers, plants, then you're going to do small chests, then it's going to be skeletons, then it's going to be bigger chest, and that's essentially it. Just the bigger the chest, the more AP. And then finally, you're going to have shrines. Shrines are huge in my opinion. They give 10 AP per shrine. First time you use a shrine, the only time you get AP. So you can't hit a shrine of health, come back, and hit that same shrine of health. It has to be the first time and only time. I can't have a buddy hit it, and then he's like, hey, go hit that same one. 5 minutes later, it doesn't matter. He already got it. That's how it is. Surprisingly, though, some of this stuff you would be, where is this? Like flat chest better than, oh, coffins, excuse me, I forgot to mention coffins. So it goes plants, small chest, skeleton corpse, coffins, and then larger chests, right? This is how it goes, and then shrines after that. That's how I like to think about it, with special chests above that. So just keep your eye out for large chests, and like I said, open every portal. It's worth it. Here are the shrines in more detail. If you're playing solo, altar, sacrifice, doesn't matter. If your boy's dead and you got to res him, you're going to get that AP regardless, so it doesn't even matter. Prop interaction. So this is how it's supposed to be. Opening props grants AP only for the first time they are open. This includes repeatable props such as ore nodes, treasure hoard, and shrines. Okay. So basically, it's just explaining what I'm explaining. Like, the first time you do it, the only time you get AP. And this is just an example of what they look like. You should know what these look like. You should know what they do by now. But pretty easy. Just easy AP. This is the same. I'm just putting these up here so you can remember. Phantom Flower, Ward Weed, Life Leaf, 1 AP per. They're 2 stacks, and these are actually uncommon rarity. It shows that they're common rarity, but they're actually uncommon. All the ores have their own rarities, and their own... this is just for interaction, not for their item, like loot AP. This is just for their interaction AP. So it's advisable that you pick these because they're so quick to pick and they just give you free AP. But if there's mobs in that room, go for the mobs. I mean, would you rather get 10 AP for your time or 1 AP? This is, I'm not going to go through this in detail till later, but this is essentially explaining like AP per item, how it works, whatnot. And let's get into the loot. So which items, treasures, gear give AP? First things first, we need to understand that our inventory space is only 50. Okay, so if you have, we're gonna get into the math, but if you have, if you min max and got all legendary stuff versus all purple, well, the legendary is gonna beat out the purple every time. You're gonna get better AP, but that's not usually how a raid goes, right? So you're gonna have like some blues, maybe some purples, trinkets, treasures, like hunting loot. Which loot is better? Which loot gives us the most AP? How do we min-max our inventory space? Also, rangers, as I play a ranger, rangers at a disadvantage because you need bows, or arrows, and it just takes up a lot of space. That's why we need quivers. And meds cause less space, so be mindful. If you buy meds versus not, I mean, you got to have meds, right? So, I mean, that's just what you're looking at. Empty space better, but, for a ranger, you're going to take up a fifth of your inventory just trying to survive. This is a list of unique items, hunting loot, whatnot, and their AP. So this is important. Basically, any of these rare items, like, so when you kill a person, they might have on golden boots, let's say. Well, when a person dies, when it's PvP and they die, the stuff they drop becomes looted. So you can actually leave with it as it gives you AP is what I'm saying. So you only get AP if it's at a looted item. If you bring something in and leave with it, doesn't matter. That's why your kit doesn't count towards your AP, right? Because it's handled. So basically, the things I want you to really look out for that are actually pretty valuable, believe it or not, are golden teeth. They give 10 AP per, and they stack, which is big. So for one slot, for 3 golden teeth, you made 30 AP. This is pretty good, actually. Grave essence as well. So for one slot, they stacked at 3. You're making 30 AP. That's pretty good. I mean, you find those all the time. You might as well grab them. And until you find something better, that is. But you might as well grab them. This just goes lockpicks, nothing. Maggots, nothing. Cobalt, ear, nothing. Bowstring, nothing. Bone, it's waste of time. It's a 3 stack. It's a 3x1 and or a 1x3 or whatever, and then it's 3 AP. I mean, it's a waste of time. Skulls, whatever. Basically the best ones, like I said, are golden teeth, grave essence, and spider silk. Spider silk too. If you do that spider room, keep all your spider silk. You're gonna find a bunch of it. It's worth your time. But you could go over this in detail. Just pause and look. I mean, like I said, the 3 big ones. I'll repeat myself: golden teeth, spider silk, grave essence. They stack, and they're worth 10 a pop. It's worth it. All right, now we're going to go into detail about how loot AP works. Okay, so utility, accessories, treasures, gems, hunting loot, like in the previous page, they provide for rarity, like per rarity, they provide, just for instance, if you had a blue diamond, like a diamond with a blue rarity, it's going to give you 4 AP for that one item. It's a 1 slot with 4 AP versus if it was a legendary diamond, right? If it had that orange, legendary diamond, it's going to give you 6 AP. It's really not that much. It might sell for more from a gold value perspective, but it's only giving you 2 more AP. Gear, on the other hand, is per slot. So if I had a blue helmet, a 4-slot blue helmet, that's going to give me 24 AP because it's 6 per slot, and a helmet is 4 slots, right? So that's 24 AP. Versus if I had a blue crown, a 4-slot, or a blue golden pot, or I call them the ashtrays. The blue ashtray, it's a blue gold bowl, but that is going to give you 4 AP for all 4 slots. It's just 4 AP versus the helmet. So in my opinion, always get the gear over the large treasures and whatnot. Like, just essentially focus on gear. This goes into detail. Read it at your leisure. You want to mind your inventory. You want to always be min-maxing. If there's greens, first of all, if you're in high roller and you have a green on you, don't. And then if you're in high roller and you have blues and purples, then you're doing a little better. I mean, you shouldn't even find a green. That's like as rare as a legendary, I feel like. When backpacks are in, it's all changing. So when that happens, we'll get to that. Accessories. Okay, so although they're useful, I like to keep accessories. So, you kill a giant centipede, you find a blue ox pendant, and you find a purple ring of resolve. Like, I would keep them. I mean, they might sell for a lot, and they're only 1 slot. It's not breaking your back by carrying them with you. You know what I mean? So it might be worth it. But honestly, if you had 4 blue rings versus 1 blue helmet, the blue helmet's going to be worth more than the 4 blue rings. Now, from a player perspective, if you're trying to have better rings, if you have room on your player to put rings on, then that's just free AP. You can wear items that you find and you will get AP. Okay, so this is why these are good to find if you have empty slots. So if you have no necklace on and you find a purple ox pendant, throw that bad boy on. You just got a free 5 AP that you're wearing now. Treasures. This is me essentially explaining the same thing I already explained. So 1 by 1 is the same AP to a 2 by 3. So like if you found a blue ancient scroll, 4 AP for a 6 slot item. What a waste of space versus 1 blue pearl necklace. Same AP, but you could have 6, single items, and then you're really, up in your AP. Basically, you just want to focus on the 1 by 1s. If chalices, whatever, but I wouldn't even think about carrying any of this stuff. I mean, ceremonial dagger, whatever, chalices, whatever, but really focus on the single items, single slot. All right, utility is unique because every player has a utility belt, where you put your potions, where you put the pickaxe, or where you put a lockpick before you have to use it. All of these items don't have to be in your inventory and you still get AP. So it could be advisable to, drop, like if you're a ranger, drop your hunting traps and pick up, that blue hunting, or, that blue campfire, that blue pickaxe, or, you find some green throwing knives. Hey, if you got an empty slot, you just drink, you just use your last bandage, you got an empty slot up there, throw in that utility you find. Or if you got some rare potions that you found, I'd be careful about, if you found like a purple health potion and you're trying to save them, you don't want to use it. I mean, it'd be a little scary putting your utility slot, but I mean, it's a free slot. Now you have 1 more inventory space that you could be using for trinkets or for treasure, or some rare item or whatever. So, like a pickaxe especially, let's say you find a blue pickaxe, you have an empty utility slot on your utility belt. I mean, this is a 2 by 3, right? So you don't want to waste up all of that space in your inventory. So just, maybe drop your bandages. You could buy more. It doesn't matter. They're cheap. Throw that bad boy in, and the same thing goes for everything. Troll's blood is an instant grab. I mean, just simple as that. potions I would always grab if they're blue. Always grab them in my opinion. Green, I mean they're everywhere, but to each their own. You're not gonna find any rare torches or anything, although apparently they are in the game. Look, epic torch, 6 AP. I ain't never seen one. I think it's a developer torch because they come in purple. These are so this is what I was explaining about the wardweed, phantom flower, and life leaf. So you pull a wardweed. Say you're in a room with 5 wardweed. You pull one times 5. That's 5 AP. These are 2-slot items, but because they're miscellaneous, you know, it's just hunting loot, whatever. It has a unique. These are uncommon, and they're 2 slots. So, but you can stack them to 5. So 5 times 3 plus the 5 that you got for pulling them. This is a 20 AP item if you have 5 of these in one stack in your inventory. It's kind of advisable to get these, at least until you find something better. If it's no skin off your teeth and you can get them quickly, definitely grab these. Plus, you could up your potions with these. If you have, like, if you're in a, I think this is Goblin Caves Warweed. I mean, I don't exactly remember, but, you know, if you see them, just grab them. It's no harm, no foul. The ore is the same thing. Okay, but these have their, if I'm not mistaken, look, it says silver ore, gold ore has their own. You would think that gold ore at a purple, oh, it's even better. So yeah, it'd be advisable. Froststone, this is probably going to change, but Froststone ore at 3 AP, this is probably higher now, since Froststone now has craftables. But you know, it might be advisable to get these. I would get it for the value, but to each their own, like the gold value. This is hunting loot. I just wanted to show you what they look like. Remember, golden teeth, grave essence, spider silk. That's what you're looking for. Everything else, who cares? Goblin ears, waste of time. Although they stack, I mean, would you rather have 3 golden teeth or 3 goblin ears? Golden teeth every time, no question. Or, you know, grave essence, like I said, spider silk. I would just focus on that. Obviously, from a gold value perspective, you know, the broken sword blade is going to go crazy on the market. Wyvern claws is going to go crazy. Wolf pelts, troll pelts, stuff like that. So for the space, like old cloth, immediate drop. Mimic tongue, immediate drop. Intact skull, immediate drop. You don't. That's a waste of space. From an AP perspective, from a gold value perspective, obviously you want to keep, you know, the high value loot. Like if you got a frost wyvern egg, why wouldn't you grab it? Like you just earned it. But from a AP perspective, this might not be the best pickup. Just generally speaking, stick to the 1x1s. Find beetle wings, bones, rusty broken sword. For the space of a bone, that's 3 slots, right? You could have 9 golden teeth at 120 AP, if my math's right? No, it'd be 90 AP, right? So you could get, what is this, like 3 AP or 90 AP? I mean, and I just wanted to show you an overview of the hunting loot yet again. Pause it if you want to study it. This is the stuff you want to go for. Like, let's see. Let's go over it a little bit. Mimic tongue. 1 mimic tongue, 10 AP. Cool, but it's a 4 slot. Rare spider silk, 10. Very cool. 1 slot, and it stacks, right? Not saying the mimic tongues don't. I'm pretty sure they do, but it's just a waste of space. Let's see. Am I missing anything here? Yeah, that's, I mean, you just want to go for the 1x1s, and you want to make sure that you look out for the teeth, silk, and grave essence. Now, PvP, which I'm not going to get into because that's a different thing than, you know, min-max AP. It's basically, this is the formula, but basically an easy way to understand it is, if you're Pathfinder, the blue rank in High Roller, and you kill a demigod, you're going to get a lot of AP, right? Because they're of a higher rank. If you're Pathfinder and you kill a neophyte, which is the first rank, right? Demigod's the highest, neophyte's the lowest, and you're right in the middle at Pathfinder. If you kill the lowest rank, you're punching down, you're not going to get that much AP, right? And it's even worse if you're a demigod and you kill a neophyte. You punch down that much, you're going to get barely any AP. It's like killing a mob. So, but that's not to say that if you're a neophyte, you're not going to get any AP for killing a demigod. You see, if you punch up, the higher you punch up, the more AP you're going to get. Okay? And it does scale for rank. So not only that, the loot that they have on their body might be worth it. If somebody brings in full legendary and they leave with that, they're going to have a lot of AP, right? Because it becomes looted. So in conclusion, I think the best way to make AP in High Roller, Goblin Caves specifically, is spawn in a corner, kill everything around you, open every door, open every chest, min-max your loot, items over, accessories, utility, and treasures, and go for the highest rarity loot. I mean, that goes without saying, right? Drop. Don't be shy, too. I want to really reiterate this, don't be shy about dropping loot. Like, I like that helmet. It's like, who cares? If you're just here for AP, if you're just trying to get Demigod, I mean, that's what the marketplace is for. You can get whatever loot you want, right? Drop that loot. Get the AP. Hit the rank you want. Just grind it up. There's no shame in your game. Drop that. You don't need another hound skull. Drop it. You know what I mean? You found some purple pants, but there's like a really cool blue cape that you have. If you already have a cape and you're not trying to wear the one you found, although the cape is cool, the cloak or whatever, drop it. Pick up those purple pants. It's going to be worth more AP. Even they're shitty. I mean, if they're not good pants, who cares? Pick them up. Right? Because it's just about AP. Right? Some situations you might run into. Let's say you open a chest and there is a blue shadow mask. Okay? And you have a blue hound skull. Okay? Full inventory, and you're trying to figure out which one should I bring. Well, hound skull, if I'm not mistaken, blue hound skull is probably about 80 to 100, right? Now, obviously, it's going to change throughout different wipes and whatever, but as of right now, I'm pretty sure they're about 80 to 100. Well, that shadow mask is going to be worth like 40 gold more, right? So, same amount of slots that it takes up in your inventory, but the gold value is higher. This is how I would determine which items to bring with you out of raid. So, if your inventory is full and you already have like 6 helmets on you for some reason, but you find a better helmet from a gold perspective, then that's when you would drop that hound skull and bring in that shadow mask. Now, let's say you had a, purple pair of pants in your inventory. Like, you're not wearing them, right? So stuff you can't wear. I would also advise you that if you find loot you could wear, to just drop what you have or put it in your inventory. But dropping it is better because it's handled. So you're not going to be able to get AP and you're going to be wasting inventory space. So drop it and wear it. Because you do get AP if you wear it out for that first raid. And then after that, it's going to become handled and then you don't get it. But I would advise to do that. But let's say you found purple pants, 6 slot, right? So, 6 slots times whatever purple gives you per slot. That's the amount you're going to get. It's like 36 or something like that. And you have, let's say, 2 blue helmets, right? Do you pick up purple pants or do you keep the 2 blue helmets? Drop the helmets, okay? Pick up the pants. Why? Because now you have 2 extra spaces at least, right? 2 extra spaces. And then you could put that, maybe you find like, 2 blue gems. I mean, now with the pants and the gems, you're closing in on what you just dropped. But honestly, the pants, because now you have more opportunity, more space. I would just try to min-max that stuff. Now, it's arguable if you should do that. Let me think. If you had 2 blue helmets, that'd be 24 per. So that'd be 48 versus 36 with the pants. But you have to consider that you still have 2 empty slots. Inventory space is the most valuable thing, to be honest. It is arguable, though, but I say drop them. Especially if the pants are good. Let me think of another situation. Basically, you're just going to be running into, like, those types of moments. Like, okay, should I bring this? Should I not bring this? And the determining factor should be gold value. So if you have 2 blue helmets, you're already full up on helmets, and you found another blue helmet, and you're like, okay, which one should I drop for this one, if I should? Gold value. It would be the only determining factor, or a good roll, or something you might want to keep for later. But basically, that is how I move through that. Also, another thing is you don't want to waste any time reading loot. Just look at the color and keep it moving. Sometimes you want to look at the rolls, but you want to be quick with this. Time is of the essence in High Roller. You want to hit every chair, or every door, every chair, every chest, every, you want to kill every mob. I mean, basically you just want to run through it. Thanks for watching.